Majesty. The Adelaide Crows are champions of the AFLW for the third time.
Well, what an incredible team the Adelaide Crows are. 3 flags in 6 seasons. It's been an absolute privilege to watch them go about their business. Welcome to the W Show. Thanks, of course, to NAB, and award-winning journalist Sarah Black is here with me this morning, along with Melbourne star Libby Birch. Libby, welcome to you, and thank you so much for being here today. Yeah, it takes a lot of guts, I think, to front up after the grand final loss, but we really appreciate you being here with us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Sarah, it was a pretty hotly contested grand final, wasn't it?
It really was, and I think to Melbourne's credit, the fact that they were able to come out, well, it was sort of just the end of the second quarter into the third quarter and really show some fight, I think made for a really thrilling game, deserving of a pretty strong season.
Lib, just talk us through the last sort of 48 hours. I'm sure it's all still pretty raw as a group, but just take us through what it's been like.
Yeah, it's obviously been a really devastating, and we're extremely disappointed that we didn't get the win, and we felt like an opportunity has definitely slipped. But we're proud, very proud of everyone's efforts. That extends from just the team to the staff, to the fans, to the club. It's just been a huge 10 months since August last year, and I think when you get to this so close, when you can see the cup on the ground, it's within your reach as a team, it's even more heartbreaking because you're there and you had the opportunity to win it. But Adelaide were extremely classy on the day. They took their moments when they needed to, and they're an extremely mature side, and they had a better game than us on the day. And yeah, no matter how disappointing it is, we need to just get back on the bike and improve.
Was that the messaging from Mick after the game, sort of bottle it all up and then let's just reset and go again, but take the time that we need now?
Yeah, I think it's almost a little bit like a grieving process. Like, you have to, accept that we lost. Then you have to sort of break it down and understand why we lost. And then from there, what does our next steps look like as a team? Where do we need to improve to beat a side like Adelaide, or a side that's, as prolific as they are in all areas of their game? So for us, it's at the moment, it's just taking it all in and getting around each other, because that's the moments that we care about, but then looking forward.
Okay, well, we're going to break it all down for our viewers over the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. But we do need to start, Sarah, with, I guess, the star of the grand final, and that is Erin Hatchard. What a season she has had, and capped off, of course, with the best on-ground medal on the day. 26 touches, 9 marks, 568 metres gained. She was everywhere, Sarah.
She really was. It's sort of a fitting reward for such a strong season from Anne. Which she fell just short in the league best and fairest. And just her work rate makes her really, really difficult to match up on across all 4 quarters. Maddie Gay was probably going to be the one to really stick with her, not necessarily as a hard tag, but just as a bigger body. But unfortunately did a knee injury in the second quarter. So, Hatchard really got off the chain. But yeah, as I said, her endurance is second to none across the competition, and it really holds her in good stead.
She would have been one of the focuses, clearly, coming into that game. Just talk about how difficult a player she is to match up on. Yeah,
she's, as you said, Sarah, an incredibly strong body, but also incredibly fit. And you have to admire a player like that works so hard defensively, but then can back herself in aerial contests at ground level, but then also can get up the field and kick goals or create scoring opportunities. So, yeah, she was amazing on the day, and we did look at some key players to sort of quieten down on the day. But for a team like Adelaide that are experienced, they have the depth to have other players pop up.
Danielle Pont is the other one for mine, just coming into the grand final. I thought if she could have a big day, that she was certainly going to be very, very dangerous indeed. This is you just knocking her over there. This was in the first quarter. Early on, she got a free kick and they eventually scored a goal. Just take me through what was going through your mind in that moment.
Yeah, I think in grand finals, it's a tough battle and you need to assert yourself early, and it's going to be a physical contest. And for a defender, I have absolutely no regrets because, that's what defence is. It's brutal and you have to be hard to play against.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sarah, what did you make of Danielle Pont's game? Because she had some brilliant moments. This is the match sealer. I mean, she's just so dangerous when she gets her opportunity. Doesn't need that many touches either.
No, what really struck me about Danielle's game today, earlier this week, was just how focused she was. Sometimes she can struggle to get involved in a game, but she looked on from the first bounce. She really can tear a game apart. She's difficult to match because she's got such a well-rounded game, whether that's in the air or, as we saw, her speed at ground level. And she's still so young. Like, I'm really excited about what we're going to see through Ponta for years to come.
Well, I spoke to her after the match and asked her about that match sealer.
I had 2 set shots prior to that and it didn't go my way, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to try something different here and I'm going to kick it on the run. So I did, and just luckily that it swung back at the last minute, and it was a reward for all the hard efforts that the girls have played the whole game. Our defenders through to our midfielders played hard football for 4 quarters, so it's my job to kick goals, so I was incredibly proud to finish it off for the girls.
And you can see the full video interview with Danielle Pont on women's.afl and the AFLW official app. That's online now. Our deep dive for today is going to be how the Crows got their 3rd flag. And Libby, what was it for you that stood out most where it broke down for the Ds?
Yeah, well, it was very much like how they played us in round 4. They like to push you down the line, and early on I believe that we fell into that trap of going down the line. I think we developed our game and probably meant that in the 3rd and 4th quarter we were probably more prolific in our forward half. But as you can see here from the vision, their defensive patterns, their wings drop back and can provide support. Their midfield drop back, such as an Erin Hatchard, they are just a well-oiled machine. And it's just looks so organised, and I believe their defence won their game.
Yeah, sitting from where I was up on, it's level 5, the press box at Adelaide Oval. It's a great bird's eye view of the ground, and you could really see that work from the midfielders. Yeah. You guys love your 45 kick from that sort of wing position into the middle of the ground, and then you go quick hands into the goal area. Yeah. They cut off that 45 time and time again. And when it changed for you, it was when Taylor Harris and, a few others pushed a little bit further up the ground. Then all of a sudden you had space out the back. It was just that first half where Adelaide really set up the wing.
I know it's still quite raw, but when you look back and reflect, what do you think you as a group will take from this experience and this loss?
Yeah, I think for us, the focus and what we learnt from round 4 was that we have to be better at our offence and our decision-making with the ball. I believe we got enough of the ball to win the game. We just didn't make the right choices forward of centre, and we had very shallow entries. So that means we were in that 40 to 50 metre area, which meant that Adelaide could dump that kick out very easy, and I think we had a 20% score and lock in the first quarter. So they were just getting it out of our forward 50 too easily. So for us, it's offensive decisions with the ball to get deeper entries, as you were discussing, getting closer to goal because it puts defence under pressure.
As a group, you are so close. Expansion's on the horizon, 4 new teams coming in. We know that there's going to be a lot of movement across the trade and sign period. Do you hope that you can keep the core of this group together so that you can reset and go again?
I believe we have the group to win a premiership. It wasn't that way this year, and that's just the way the ball bounces. But I do believe that we have a culture that is solid, it's strong. There's a huge foundation. We have an amazing coach, we have an amazing captain, and we have a great club. So I'd absolutely love, I know all the leaders would love everyone to stay because it's such a we're as you said, Nat, we're really close and we're building something pretty special.
And you also have some young keys who haven't had much game time at all this year, but you know, in years to come, look out for Georgia Campbell and Talia Gillard, because they're going to set you up well for the future.
So the future of two of our AFLW icons in Daisy Pearce and Erin Phillips remain up in the air. They spoke about their futures after the game. Let's take a listen.
It wasn't like hinging on a result or anything like that. It's just, yeah, time now with the family and step away and kind of make a plan on that. But as I've said all year, I'm still enjoying my footy and feel like I'm having an impact. So, yeah, it's just time to let things settle and reassess and hear the final details of what next year looks like, all of that kind of thing. It's, yeah, no updates from me.
Honestly, my whole goal has been to win another premiership with this team. And I haven't thought about that. It's been a lot of noise, a lot of people talking about what's next. It's something that my wife Tracy and I will sit down and talk about, see what's next in life. There's more factors than just one simple choice for me, so we'll see how it goes. But right now, I'm just so proud to be a Crow.
The outpouring of emotion from Erin Phillips. I was watching her very closely after the game, Sarah, and I just thought that was her last game for the Crows. Gut feel, she's going to be at Port Adelaide next season?
Yeah, I think so. I think, well, what a way to go out also. To a champion of the club, like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if the best and fairest is the Erin Phillips Award at the Crows. And, yeah, such strong family connections at Port Adelaide. Why not set up a new dynasty at another club?
Yeah, it's certainly a great challenge for her. What's your gut feel, Libby, with Daisy? I mean, we heard her in her speech after the match, which was just so brilliant, the way she was able to get up there, and she used the words "we," and I was trying to read into that going, gosh, I think a lot of us just want her so desperately to go around again. I guess as a teammate, you probably give her space and you don't ask too many questions, but she's good enough to go around, isn't she?
Oh, absolutely. She made the All-Australian side this year. She was, you know, in the top for score involvements. She's one of the best, you know, voted best captain in the competition. Why wouldn't you go again? We love her, and you know, it's. I think again, as it was for Phillips, there's lots of layers to everyone's lives to make decisions. So ultimately, that will be up to Daisy. But I've never been so grateful to play with a player like her.
Yeah, she is brilliant. We do hope she goes on, but obviously it's a very complicated time for both Erin and Daisy. Trade period, Sarah, because it all plays into it. We've got to turn our attention. The grand final's done, all right? We've got to turn our attention to what's next. Sorry, Libby, we've just basically tortured you for about 10 minutes here on the W Show. What is the latest with the trade and sign? We still don't have a date locked in as yet, but there's already a lot of speculation.
There is a lot of speculation. There's a lot of action as well. It's not just speculation. There's, you know, clubs are talking left, right and centre. You know, we saw that Izzy Huntington has officially requested a trade to GWS. Like we were saying with Daisy and Erin, there are a lot of elements of these young players. So Izzy obviously has a strong injury history. She's looking for off-field as well. So she thinks Giants are the best fit there up in Sydney. You know, Ash Riddell looks more likely to stay than to go at North Melbourne. I think the decision by Ellie Blackburn not to take up Sydney's offer and to stick with the Dogs has meant that Riddell has gone, oh, maybe I don't want to be that one-star midfielder up there, because she isn't that big body who needs to, you know, who bustles away from contests. So still plenty to happen. And speaking to clubs, they're now wary about the next tier of players. Now that the stars have been spoken to and made up their minds about what they want to do, then expansion clubs turn their attention to others and go, well, you know, if we can't get player A, we'll try player B. So yeah, a lot of the current clubs are just sort of gearing up to try and hang on to these next generation of players.
And if you check out on women's.afl, Riley Beveridge has a story up now about Emily Bates, best and fairest winner in the competition. And a lot of clubs just trying to see if they can lure her away from Queensland. Hawthorn, apparently the front runner at the moment. So make sure you check out that story online. Now, there was a beautiful, heartfelt moment at the grand final. It was post-match when the NAB AFL Oz kickers get up on stage and present the medals. And there was this beautiful moment between one of the little Oz kickers and, of course, the Crows skipper in Chelsea Randall.
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Hello, Charlotte. I'm Chelsea. Nice to meet you. You're going to put that one over my neck, are you? Yeah?
Can you be my captain?
I can be your captain. Yeah? Sounds good. Yeah?
I mean, Sarah, what is she going to do? Run around in Auskick with 5-year-olds and captain them?
But why wouldn't you want Chelsea Randall to be your captain? Honestly, she's such an inspiration.
Ah, she is indeed. All right, time now for the buzz. And it was, well, Silly Sunday at the Lions. And they love a bit of a dress-up. Kate Lutkins going as the literal red carpet. That, to me, is too much time and effort. What do you rate that one, Lib?
Oh, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 for that one.
Creativity up there.
Yeah. And Craig Starcevich, well, who can forget? We'll never forget, really, the shoey that he did during Emily Bates's speech, but he's wishing the king of the shoey, Danny Rick, of course, all the best on for the Grand Prix weekend. And he did pretty well in the end, did Danny Rick, but no shoey, unfortunately, for him. And then finally, Sarah, Chelsea Randall again taking her captaincy duties very, very seriously. Look at this, she's shining the cup.
That's a woman who's won a few flags and knows what to do. Also notable here is that she's managed to wrest the cup away from Ebony Marinoff, who's a known loves a photo with the cup. Yeah, she's had 3, and every single time Eb's been front and centre with the cup.
And the coach in Doc Clark told me yesterday that Ebony Marinoff was definitely best on ground in the post-match celebrations. Well, that is it for another season of The W Show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, of course, to Libby for fronting up today. It's been brilliant having you here. Sarah, thank you to you. Thank you, of course, to Ellie Blackburn, Bonnie Toogood and Bree Davey and Beck Goddard, who have also been part of our show. And I also want to shout out Basto, Lucy, Locke, Jess, Jace, Mars, Meg, Sarah, Rowdy, Hayley, Phil, Mike, Jamie, all the team behind the scenes. This show would not happen without them. So thank you so much. Thanks, of course, to NAB. We'll see you next season on The W Show.